Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of the sunflower sew along. Today we'll be creating the shelf bra. I am doing this pattern for myself, so I'm using the adults option. If you're doing the kids option, you will definitely adjust the steps accordingly to the steps in the kids tutorial. But I am doing the most complicated ones, this way I can show you. Remember what I said yesterday, Judy does include videos and full sew along videos with her patterns, and the links are in the pattern itself, and the videos are on the YouTube channel of the Patterns for Pirates, so definitely check those out if you're doing an option that's different from the one that I'm creating right now. So for today's steps, you need your inner lining. If you're adding the cups, you need your shelf bra lining, you need your lining of the main piece, and your underbust elastic. So let's start by adding the inner lining. In my case, it's the main print. If you want to serge the raw edge of the cup opening, you can. Swim doesn't ravel, so I'm not going to. I actually prefer to not have any extra thread going against my skin, so I will leave it raw. I prefer the feel of swim instead of the serger thread. So again, if you have sensory issues, keep in mind that leaving it raw might feel better against the skin. So lay your inner lining with the right side up, so the wrong side of the inner lining will go towards the wrong side of your shelf bra lining. So the shelf bra lining has the wrong side up, and the part with the cup, the inner lining, has your right side up. So right side, wrong side. Lay them one on top of the other, and now we're going to baste them in place. While I do love sewing knits with my sewing machine, I find that with my serger, I find that when I make swimsuits, they last longer if I use my sewing machine for various steps. So I will be using my sewing machine for this project a lot more than I do a serger. Based on experience with me-made swimsuits, they last longer if they're sewn on a sewing machine than a serger. So I'm going to go ahead and baste all around, and that will be right now the shelf bra part without the elastic. So let's move on to the sewing machine. We are at the sewing machine. I'm going to do a basting stitch that's a straight stitch with 3.8 tension and 4 length. This is basically just to keep them in place. I have a brand new needle. I can guarantee you that you will love your project a lot more if you start them with a brand new needle. Make sure you leave the opening for where the cup will be inserted open when you baste it and when you sew. And I'm using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, less than that, to baste these pieces in place. Let's go on this side. the scoop neckline. And back to where we started. And we are finished with the basting. Up next, we want to add the underbust elastic. So if you opted for to not have the cup, you'll be starting with this step. Because I'm adding the cup, I did have to baste those two pieces together. Now for the underbust elastic, you're going to take your piece of 3/4 of an inch elastic. I'm going to find its center. And the center of the bottom edge. And I'm going to place them right sides together and pin in place, or well, clip in place. Then I'm going to go all the way to the end and add a couple of clips. And then add clips around the bottom. So this is the elastic and the bottom of the swim shelf bra, right sides together. So this is what it looks like. Elastic and shelf bra, right sides together. I'm going to stitch them down with a zigzag stitch because I don't want to lose the elasticity, and I'm doing a 3 length, so a pretty wide zigzag stitch. You can use your serger for this step if you want, but like I said, I find swim to last better if I stitch it with a sewing machine. So your shelf bra should look something like this right now. We're going to flip the elastic down and top stitch the seam allowance up. So your seam allowance will go up towards your shelf bra. And I will use the same zigzag stitch, top stitching. If you want, you can use a cover stitch for this step. If you do use a cover stitch, I like to add woolly nylon or bulky nylon in my looper for swimwear because it's softer against the skin and it has elasticity. Beautiful. So your underbust elastic is added. It should look something like this. If you give it a good steam, it will remove any bulkiness you have. Very important to not skip this step. If you plan on adding cups, find the center of your shelf bra and do a stitch along the center from top to bottom, like I'm going to do right now. That will help keep your cups in place. Make sure they don't shift and you get 2 cups on one side and 1 on this one. So I'm going to add that stitching in the center through all the layers. Meaning the lining and the inner lining. So So now when you insert the cup, like so, so you take your cup and you insert it through the opening, and you'll do that at the end when the swimsuit is done, not now, but I just want to show you that when you insert the cup, now it won't go all the way on the other side. It will stay nice on this side. So this is from that side, and this will go against your body. So now let's take the lining piece, and we're going to add the shelf bra to the lining the same way we basted the inner lining to the shelf bra. So we're going to have the lining right side down, although honestly with this lining, the nude lining, you can barely. So last step for today is to place your shelf bra on top of the lining, and you'll have the shelf bra with the right side up and the lining with the right side up, and you'll place them together like so. I'll add a couple of pins just to eliminate any kind of shifting, and we're going to baste them in place just like we did before with the inner lining and the shelf bra. And this going forward will be known as the lining piece. So we're going to just baste all around except for the part with the elastic. This is your last step for today. So once you finish basting these two in place, remember to take a picture and post it in the comments of day 2 photo of the sunflower sew along album. You'll find the album in the Made for Mermaids and Parents for Pirates sew along group on Facebook. So let me go ahead and do a basting stitch. And that will be your check-in for today. Tomorrow we'll be working on the straps. While I sometimes when I sew knits, I skip basting and just use clips, I would not do that when working with swim. Swim tends to be very slippery, so you don't want to have anything slipping away while you're stitching. Okay, so we are done for today. Like I said, make sure you check in with your photo for today, and I will see you back here tomorrow when we'll be creating the straps. Talk to you soon. Bye.